My friends, let me ask you something straight from the heart. Have you ever felt like you've done everything right your whole life, worked hard, paid your taxes, saved for retirement, only to feel like the rules keep changing when you finally get to the age where you should be resting? That's exactly how many seniors in Australia are feeling right now. A new tax bill has been introduced, and it has left many older Australians confused, worried, and in some cases, downright angry. The truth is, when you're living on a fixed income, every single dollar matters. And when the government talks about new taxes or higher taxes, it can feel like the rug is being pulled out from under you. Before we get into the details, let me pause for just a moment. If you're new here, I want to welcome you to our channel, where we talk about the issues that matter most to seniors and their families. If you care about pensions, social security updates, Centrelink payments, tax changes, or even tips on stretching your budget further, this is the place for you. So please, hit that subscribe button right now and join our growing community. That way, you'll never miss the updates that could directly affect your life. Now let's come back to today's issue. This new bill has been making headlines because it demands more tax, and while the government says it's about fairness and sustainability, many seniors see it differently. They see it as another burden placed on people who have already contributed so much. And if you've been feeling stressed or uncertain about what this bill could mean for your future, you're not alone. Today, we're going to walk through this step by step, what the bill says, how it could affect pensions, superannuation, and everyday living. And most importantly, what you can do about it. I want you to imagine this like we're sitting down together at your kitchen table, having a cup of tea. I'll explain everything clearly, without jargon, and we'll take our time so you can fully understand what's going on. Because knowledge is power, and right now seniors need power more than ever. So, let's break it down together. What does this new tax bill really mean? On the surface, the government has been saying it's about making the system more balanced and sustainable. They argue that as Australia's population gets older, the budget is under more pressure. People are living longer, which is wonderful, but it also means the government is paying pensions for more years. At the same time, fewer younger people are paying taxes compared to the growing number of retirees. Their solution? Ask seniors to pay more. The bill focuses on increasing taxes on superannuation earnings above a certain threshold. For many years, superannuation has been one of the main ways Australians prepared for retirement. It was meant to give people security in their later years, without relying only on the age pension. But now the rules are shifting. Under this proposal, if your super balance is considered too high, the earnings on that balance will be taxed more heavily. The government claims it will only affect a small percentage of retirees, mostly wealthier ones, but here's the problem. Thresholds don't always stay the same. What might be wealthy today could just be middle class in a few years. And here's another important point. This bill doesn't just affect numbers on a page. It affects real lives. For a senior couple who carefully saved and planned, it might mean they suddenly see their retirement income shrink. For someone who thought their savings would be enough, it might now mean they have to dip into their capital faster, which risks running out of money later in life. That's why so many seniors feel blindsided. What the government frames as fairness can feel like punishment to those who did what was asked of them. They worked hard, paid their taxes all their life, saved into super, and now in retirement they're told they need to give up more. And let's be honest, when the cost of living is already soaring, with groceries, rent and electricity prices going through the roof, even a small increase in tax can feel crushing. This is why so many advocacy groups, senior associations, and even everyday families are raising their voices. They're saying, why should seniors carry the burden of budget repair when they've already done their part? These are the questions we need to talk about, and that's exactly what we're doing here today. Now that we understand the outline of the bill, let's bring it closer to home. What does it mean for pensions, Centrelink payments, and your everyday household budget. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what politicians say in Parliament if people sitting at their kitchen tables can't make ends meet. First, let's talk about pensions. For many seniors in Australia, the age pension is a lifeline. It's not a luxury, it's the very thing that pays for rent, food, medicines and bills. When a new tax comes in, even if it doesn't directly cut the pension, it still has ripple effects. If your retirement savings are taxed more, you may need to draw down those savings faster. Once those savings drop, Centrelink will reassess your eligibility for the pension. That means your pension payments could change over time, leaving you caught between two shifting systems: higher taxes on your savings and lower support from Centrelink. Next, think about your household budget. Right now, the cost of living is already squeezing families hard. Seniors, especially those on fixed incomes, feel it even more. Every time you walk into the supermarket, you probably notice that the price of bread, milk and fresh fruit seems higher than the last time. Electricity bills climb, gas prices move up, and rent or rates don't seem to stop rising. Now imagine facing all of that while also being told that your retirement savings will be taxed more. It's like being asked to carry a heavier backpack when you're already struggling uphill. Another hidden impact is psychological. Retirement was supposed to be a time of rest and dignity. When new taxes come in, many seniors feel anxiety about their financial future. They worry about whether they'll have enough to last. They worry about being a burden on their children. And for some, the fear is that they might even have to return to work part-time, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. This bill is not just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about peace of mind. For seniors who already feel the pressure of inflation and rising costs, the added stress of more taxes can be overwhelming. And when older Australians lose confidence in the system, that worry trickles down to their families too. Sons, daughters, and even grandchildren start to worry about how to support their parents or grandparents in retirement. So when we ask, what does this bill mean for you? The answer is clear. It could mean less money in your pocket, tighter budgets, more stress, and a greater sense of uncertainty about the future. Now, let's take a moment to look at the other side of the story, the government's explanation. They aren't shy about telling Australians why they believe this new bill is needed. In fact, if you listen to their speeches, they often use the same words over and over again: fairness, sustainability, and responsibility. According to the government, the main reason for raising taxes on certain retirement savings is the long-term health of the budget. They point out that Australia has an ageing population. Right now, there are fewer younger taxpayers compared to the growing number of older Australians drawing pensions, using Medicare, and needing aged care. This creates what they call a budget pressure. In simple terms, it means the money going out for services is rising faster than the money coming in through taxes. The government also argues that not all retirees are in the same financial position. They say some seniors hold very large superannuation balances, sometimes millions of dollars, and those balances are taxed less compared to what a working family might pay on their yearly income. So, in their view, this system isn't fair. Their solution is to make those with higher balances pay more tax, while leaving average retirees untouched, at least for now. That's their story. And to be fair, on paper, it might sound reasonable. After all, no one can deny that budgets are under strain. No one can deny that services like hospitals, aged care and pensions all need funding. And of course, many Australians agree that people with extreme wealth should contribute more. But here's where the reality feels different for ordinary seniors. First, the threshold set today may not stay the same tomorrow. History has shown that once a tax is introduced, it rarely disappears. It only grows. A tax that starts with wealthy retirees can slowly creep down to include middle-income retirees. Seniors are right to feel nervous because the rules can change quickly, and those changes often come when people are already retired and can't adjust their saving strategy. Second, even if the bill targets a smaller group of retirees now, it sends a message to all seniors. Don't count on stability. For many, this feels like moving the goalposts after the game has already started. People plan their retirement around certain rules, and now those rules are being rewritten. And third, there's a deeper emotional reality. Seniors are not just costs on a budget. They are people who spent decades building this country, working, paying taxes, and raising families. To ask them to sacrifice more, especially at a time when the cost of living is skyrocketing, feels to many like the government is forgetting the human side of the equation. This is why you hear such strong emotions around this topic. On one hand, you have politicians talking about percentages, numbers, and balance sheets. On the other, you have seniors talking about dignity, stability, and survival. And those two worlds don't always meet in the middle. To truly understand the weight of this tax change, we need to listen to the people living it. Because behind every statistic is a real person, often with decades of hard work, sacrifice, and quiet resilience. Take Margaret, for example. She's 74, a retired nurse who spent over 40 years caring for others. She and her husband put money into their super every year, even when it meant going without holidays. Their dream was to retire with security. Now, under this new bill, the extra tax on their savings means their budget will tighten. Margaret told a seniors group recently, "We followed the rules, we did everything right, and now it feels like we're being punished for planning ahead." Or consider David, a widower in his late 60s. He already feels the pinch of high grocery and fuel prices. He doesn't have a huge superannuation fund, but he's worried about the future. If they can change the rules for some retirees, he said, what's to stop them from changing the rules for the rest of us? His fear isn't just about money, it's about trust. Trust in a system he contributed to his whole life. These voices echo across Australia. Some seniors are angry, others are worried, and many are simply tired of having to fight for fairness in their later years. Advocacy groups are stepping up too, warning that even if the bill starts small, it sets a precedent that could hurt more people down the road. Families are speaking out as well because they see how these changes ripple across generations. When seniors lose financial security, younger relatives often step in to help, stretching their own already tight budgets. The truth is, this bill is about more than just dollars and cents. It's about the dignity of older Australians. It's about whether retirement will be a time of peace or a time of constant worry. And it's about whether we, as a society, value the contributions seniors have already made, or whether we see them as just another number in a budget. So, where does this leave us? The new tax bill has sparked a storm of debate in Australia. The government says it's about fairness and sustainability, but many seniors feel it's about moving the goalposts when they can least afford it. What we know for sure is that these changes could mean tighter budgets, less certainty, and more stress for retirees who already face the challenge of rising living costs. If there's one thing we can learn from this, it's that seniors need to stay informed and connected. Knowledge really is power, and understanding these changes is the first step to protecting yourself and your family. Heather, it's talking with your financial advisor, joining a local seniors advocacy group, or simply staying tuned to updates like the ones we share here. Staying aware is your best defence. My friends, you've spent a lifetime contributing to this country. You deserve clarity, dignity, and respect, not confusion and worry. That's why it's so important we keep having these conversations openly. And remember, you are not alone. Millions of Australians are in the same boat, asking the same questions and looking for the same answers. Before we close, let me say this. If you found today's discussion helpful, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost anything, but it means you'll always have a place to come for updates explanations, and support on issues that affect your daily life. Together, we can make sure seniors' voices are heard loud and clear. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Stay strong, stay informed, and above all, never lose hope. This is your retirement, your future, and you have every right to fight for it.